Hello, everyone. So here we have a vocabulary sheet that can be used for kindergarten, for first grade, perhaps even second grade. It really depends upon the level of your child or your student. Before we jump into the vocabulary sheet, let's have a quick discussion about the best way to teach vocabulary. So some people believe that teaching vocabulary in a very direct manner is the best way to teach it, which is what you see here on the sheet. You have the picture, you have the word, you discuss the word, you trace the word. This is an example of direct teaching in terms of vocabulary. But then others believe that indirect teaching is the best way to teach vocabulary. And indirect teaching is basically when the student or the child learns the vocabulary through context, through reading, through conversation. I believe that the best way for a child to, or even anyone for that matter, to learn vocabulary is to really marry the two, is to expose the child to an enormous amount of diverse vocabulary within the text. And in this case, the text we're using is Corduroy by Don Freeman, and also direct teaching, which is what you see here, which you have the worksheet. So I believe in really marrying both methods of teaching, direct and indirect, which is why we have this sheet here that accompanies the book. So let's take a look at the sheet. Depending on your child's level, you can work on different words at different times. So you see here that you may have, well, you do have some 4-letter words, you have some 5-letter words, you have 3-letter words, you have words that end in S. So you may want to focus on specific words at different times and really hone in on those words depending on your child's level and where they are in their learning journey and their vocabulary journey. Another example is you may want to just focus on words that begin with a B. I know my toddler, for example, focuses on one letter at a time. So if his word for the week is A or his word for the week is B, we may do or review or discuss words that begin with that letter. So there are different ways to differentiate a vocabulary sheet. Okay, they're depending on your child's level. Here's another tip I just want to share before I close out this video. Here you'll notice I intentionally put 3 different images next to the word by. If you look at the form, not every word has multiple images next to the word, but some of them do. And I want you to know that that's very intentional and that can help in your teaching of these words. So if we jump down to this example for the 3-letter word by, some students may not identify with the credit card symbol. That's a teachable moment where we can discuss what a credit card is, where mom or the teacher can actually pull out their debit card and pull out their credit card and show the child this is what we use to make purchases. Same thing with a cash register. A child may or may not, because especially since now we buy everything online, right? They may or may not be able to identify a cash register. So that's a way you can enhance their understanding also of the images associated with that word. And then here we have a shopping bag. Okay, so I do want you to know that I have multiple images for certain words. It's intentional and it would behoove you and benefit you and the child to really review those words or and images as they're learning the vocabulary. Again, you can even differentiate that way when teaching the vocabulary also. For example, my toddler is not yet at the writing stage. He's only 1.5. So he may not have the ability to write and to trace letters, but I can focus just on these images and I can teach him these images and we can discuss these images and we can discuss how these represent buying and this is what you do. Okay. I just want to reiterate because this is a very, very valuable point when teaching vocabulary as well. Please, as often as you can, Have the students write if they're at the level of writing, of course, have the child write, have the child focus on images, but also have a piece of reality. It's best not only to see the picture, but pull out that credit card, have the child see the image, have the child touch the image. Okay, that will enhance their vocabulary and their understanding a lot quicker. So I'm going to end here. I just wanted to quickly go over different ways I would teach this to my child or even students who may be a little older. And I just wanted to share a few of those teaching tips with you. And hopefully you found that a little valuable. You can do a whole lot of teaching with just one resource, right? You can teach it in so many different ways. And I hope that I shared just some of those ways and those tips with you. And I hope they'll be helpful. Bye-bye.